Welcome to the Self-Growth Nerds podcast. I'm your host, Marie, a courage coach, creative soul, and adventure seeker. Since through hiking the Pacific Crest Trail in 2019, I'm on a mission to help you embrace your most confident self so you can achieve your dreams too. If you're eager for deep conversations, big questions, and meaningful connections, join me on the quest to discovering how we can create a more magical and memorable life. Hello, nerds! How are you? How was your week without me? Did you miss the podcast? I hope you did. I hope you felt a little void on Monday when there was no new episode, because I know that when I started this, I told myself I want to create something that people are going to miss if it ever goes away. So if you did, and if you were kind of bummed that there was no episode, then I consider this a success. And if you feel like a little sparkle of special happiness today because there's a new episode, then that's so great. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy that I am back. I have lots of ideas for what's next. So we're going to dive right in today. I'm going to be honest with you. I've got some anger, some frustration in me today because I want to talk about something that I see so many of you, an area where I see so many of you limiting yourself in. And I have some frustration because I just want you to break out of that. And I want you to shine, to let yourself shine. But before we jump into today's topic, I want to tell you about my program, Brave and Bold, because we're doing a spring kickoff. And for the first time this year, I'm going to teach my 3-part framework for going after what you really want without hesitation. I'm going to teach this live for free on May 11. And all you have to do to be there is to apply for your invite. This private training is going to be highly valuable, and you're going to get so much clarity about the 3 areas that you need to address in order for you to be able to, 1, figure out what you really want, 2, make a plan to turn your dream into a reality, and number 3, develop the confidence to go after this full speed, without apology, without confusion, without indecision, okay? Now, more than ever, is important that we shake things up because the world is going through a meaning crisis and we need your unique gift. I see people everywhere who are burying themselves into work, drowning their feelings of emptiness by scrolling on their phone or binge watching another show that they don't really like that much, instead of doing what they want, instead of giving a real try to this idea they have in their mind. And for many people that I see around me, every day feels a little bit like the same, just with a different scandal on the news or like a different project at work or a different piece of gossip. This is not how we are meant to live our lives. And I'm talking to you, especially if you're doing fine, but you have the feeling that there's something missing, and that feeling keeps coming back to you again and again. There's something missing, kind of like a letter from Hogwarts. You need to listen. I'm also talking to you if you're feeling a little bored and you have an intangible but intense knowing, an inner knowing that there's more for you out there somewhere. And you sense that there's a big change coming for you, but you're afraid to admit that to yourself. And you're not sure what that would be and how to get to it. And if it's just a fantasy that you're just like, that you should just try to be content with what you have. No. You've got to be truthful, be honest with yourself, and realize that maybe your wild spirit just doesn't fit into the box you're trying to fit it in. Maybe the traditional path is not for you. And I know that the transition is scary. I know that the uncertainty is scary, like not knowing, you have an idea that there's a different kind of life that might make you feel more fulfilled, but you don't know how to get there. That's fine. You don't need to know how to get there. That's why I created Brave and Bold. That's why I created that process, so that you're guided every step of the way. It's a structure. My client, Corey, the other day was telling me like, oh my God, I've been wondering what to do with my life for so long, but I was not making any progress because I realized now I didn't have the process to figure out what I wanted, and also to develop the safety I needed to feel inside myself to actually try new things, to actually go for it. That's why I created Brave and Bold, because it's not enough to just listen to the podcast. It's not enough to just read books. You want to immerse yourself in 6 months where we meet every week and we build up. We build that new path for you so that you slowly but surely feel comfortable walking that path. Okay, I'm not going to push you off the deep end. That's not what it's like. We're going to work up to it. We're going to build your dream together and build the confidence that you need in order to pursue that dream. But you can't do that just by listening to podcasts. We need to go in depth together. You need to see other people who are in the same boat to start believing that it's actually possible for you. Start seeing it happen. See, it's like an iceberg. You think people just like start a business or they just quit everything and change their careers. You just see the tip of the iceberg without seeing everything that's underneath the water, all the deep work that's underneath the water, where when they do make the jump, it's because they are ready. And don't wait to get a coach or to join a program like mine, like Brave and Bold. Don't wait until you're ready to make the jump. That's beside the point. I'm helping you get ready to make the jump. That's like half of what we do together. Half of the program is getting you ready to make the jump. Because if you wait until you feel ready before you get a coach, you're not going to need a coach when you feel ready. Well, you might, because I always need a coach. I always think it's helpful for my mindset to have a coach. But the most difficult part, where you really need the help, is all the way up to feeling ready. Okay? This is the kind of stuff that people put off and put off and put off and put off. And next thing you know, 20 years has gone by and you're still not feeling ready because you didn't go get the help that was going to get you to feeling ready. Okay? So, oh my God, that was a big old rant. But this is serious. Maybe you thought that following your heart and giving that idea of yours a real go was something that you told yourself you were going to do in the future, when you retire, when you get broken up with, when someone dies. But you know right now that you have to do it now. You're tired of waiting. You guys are the people I'm talking to. Those of you who know you've got something in you. I remember when I wanted to hike the PCT, I was trying to tell myself, I'm going to do that when like my partner breaks up with me, or I'm really heartbroken or something and I need to go away. When I have a really good reason, I'll do it. But at the same time, there was another part of me that was like, oh my God, I'm so tired of waiting. I keep thinking about this. I keep thinking about like, what would that be like? Like, what would that be like if I just tried it? And I'm tired of living with that feeling. Okay? That's who I'm talking to. If that's you, come to my live private training on May 11th. There's no obligation, but at least you get to hear what my approach is about. And you'll see there is nothing like it out there. There's nothing else like it. So come, hear me, ask your questions, and then you go away, you think about this, and you make a decision for yourself. I'm not going to force you into anything. You get to decide if you want to jump in this spring's wave of Brave and Bold. If you want to surf that next wave with us, you get to decide. In the workshop, I'm going to show you the steps to eliminate the overwhelm and learn to process the fear and the guilt that comes with wanting to follow your heart. So you can finally figure out what you really want out of your life. Not what you think you should want. Not what you think would be more responsible. And stand up unapologetically for yourself and your dreams. Okay? So go to selfgrowthnerds.com/brave and bold. The application takes like a few minutes. Super simple. Once you apply, I'll let you know what's next. I'll send you the link to come to the training. Okay? The program is 1 year old now, so I've been helping outdoor-minded creatives like you rediscover and commit to their purpose for more than a year now. And let me tell you, from watching them and from my own personal experience, that giving in to the pull that you feel inside of you that you've been feeling for so long feels so damn good and like a massive relief. My client tell me like, oh my God, I feel so powerful and like everything is possible. Okay? I want to help you get there. So I'm going to see you on May 11. Get your applications in sooner rather than later. Do it before May 11, before May 10. Okay? Do it now. So I can send you the link. You can add it to your calendar, show your face. We get to meet in real life. Like, I'm not like a super famous celebrity. I'm a very accessible person with flaws and stuff and like pimples on her face who needs to go to the toilet in the middle of coaching calls sometimes. I'm not scary at all. So just show up. I'll tell you about my approach. You can ask your questions and we can go from there. All right. Now, today, I want to talk about taking yourself seriously. Seeing yourself as a professional. Where do I start? Okay, I didn't outline this episode. I have a post-it notes with things I've observed that piss me off. It pisses me off because I want you to be able to live your best life and own your shit. Own who you are. Own your magic. Okay, so I'm going to go through one at a time and that's going to make my point. First things first, I was talking with two of my clients yesterday. One of them has started their first side business, okay? They have a full-time job, but they also wanted to create another stream of income that would allow them to eventually leave their job, okay? Because that's one thing. We don't just quit our job with no plan. We want to work alongside our job to make sure that we have like that the transition feels safe enough for us. So that safety is going to be different for everyone. And for them, this client specifically, it felt safe for them to create another income stream. So they created a product, right? That they're just about to launch. That's going to help a bunch of people. It's an amazing resource full of information that they put a lot of work into. And the people who it's for their lives are going to be made so much easier by their product. But they were like, the way that they were showing up on social media and with me about it was like, it's this thing I created. You can buy it if you want or not, do you, whatever. It was almost as if they were trying to say the subconscious was saying like, I'm sorry for speaking. Please listen to me for a minute, but I won't be long. I'm sorry for existing. That's the kind of energy, okay? It's a passive kind of energy, like you're trying to erase yourself. You feel guilty for taking up space. And I told them, you know what? If you approach the promotion of your product that way, very few people are going to buy it. Because it's like, well, if you're not excited about the value of your product, why should I be, right? People don't necessarily think that, but they feel that unconsciously. If you don't trust that your product is kick ass, that your product can change lives, improve lives, then why would someone go and get it, right? So I told them, instead, you've got to be more active. You've got to sell yourself on your product. Is it good? Yes, of course it is. They know it's a good product. They're just afraid that it's not going to be well received. So when that happens, you've got to sit down with yourself and sell yourself on your product. And, this is like a business example, but for you, maybe it's an idea that you have that you want to bring to your managers at work, for example, or an idea that you have that you want to bring to your partner. Maybe it's an idea for a trip. Maybe it's an idea for a project. If you're not sure, if you're worried about how they're going to react, it means that you are not sold on your product, on your project, on your idea, and you need to sit down with yourself. Sell yourself on it. Take yourself seriously. And then once you've sold yourself on it, you are going to show up completely differently. And I was telling my client with their example, you got to be in a place where you can show up and be like, look, guys, here's my product. If you have that problem, this is going to save you so much time. It's amazing. Like if you're that person, you need that product right now because it's everything. You're going to thank me later. With that kind of energy. And it's not about faking it. It's about taking the time to actually see the value. Believe me, people that create like shallow products, that come up with like superficial stuff, they don't ask themselves all of those questions. Real imposters don't have imposter syndrome. That's what's funny. You're like, if you have big imposter syndrome, it's the first sign that you're not an imposter, because imposters are like too busy being an imposter to think about imposter syndrome. Okay. And I was talking with another client that you might relate with. Actually, two of them come to mind. Both have ideas for businesses. And they're not doing much with their idea. They know what they're supposed to do, but they're like, recoil when it's time to do the thing. Because they're like, well, what if it's not that good of an idea? What if it's not that useful? What if? Like, why would I spend time on it if I'm not sure it's the best idea in the world? And I'm going to give you some tough love here, okay? Ideas have no value until they become concrete. So stop priding yourself on your ideas, because what happens when you do this is that you put so much pressure on the idea to be good that it's too scary to do something about it. And if you do find the courage to take action, the stakes will be so high that you're going to quit the minute it doesn't work or the minute it gets hard. Your idea sounds good in your mind, and then the chances of your idea working out in its first iteration are like 0.001%. It happens, but most of the time, your idea, once you put it out into the world, is going to suck at first, and you're going to have to improve it until it's successful. The successful people that you see have had to try a bunch of stuff that failed before they found something that worked. Okay? Or they had to improve on one idea 100 times before it worked. So stop wasting time in your mind and in your notebooks developing your ideas, thinking about your ideas, and start actually risking failure. Okay? And that's what I push you to do inside Brave and Bold. I'm like, great, that sounds like a great idea. Now, what are you going to do about it? And I have a process to make sure that you make real progress every day on your ideas. That you evaluate your progress, that you reassess your progress, and we don't let you get off the hook. Okay? So, let me get back on the horse. Taking yourself seriously. So, if you took yourself seriously, let's say it's a business idea. If you took yourself seriously as a business person, how would you approach it? It's like, what do you want? What do you want with the idea? Do you want to make more money? You want to have like a flexible lifestyle where you have passive income and you can go hiking all the time? Okay, let's say you're that person. You're that person who already has passive income that allows them to travel and work whenever they want. You're already that person. How would you approach that? How would you approach your idea? When you put something in your calendar, you would probably actually do it. You would sit down and work. So you've got to take yourself seriously to see yourself as a professional before you actually become that professional you have in mind. Okay? This is massive. What I'm telling you right now is massive. Just this advice, this mindset, it's not even advice. It's a way of being, a way of thinking can change your life. Okay? If you're already that person that sees themselves as a professional, that makes the money of the professional, that has the lifestyle that you want, how would you act right now? Okay? Now, I'm going to give you examples. I had a client book a one-on-one session with me yesterday, and they didn't show up. Okay? They just didn't show up. And then when they wrote to me, they said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was sick. I was sick in bed. I couldn't be there." Now, there was a few options in front of me. I could have been like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you were sick. I completely understand. Like, go ahead and book another session." But in my contract, it says, if you don't cancel your session 24 hours in advance, the session is lost. Okay? And if I'm that professional that's really busy with a lot of clients, that's making a lot of money, that's changing lives, I don't have time to waste sitting in front of my computer waiting for someone to show up. Okay, so that's how I have to act. You know, I can be flexible. I can be understanding. If you tell me in advance, like, look, I'm sick, I'm not going to be able to be there, that's fine, I'm understanding. But I'm also going to respect the terms of our agreement. So if you don't show up when I was there waiting for you, your session is lost. No, don't make a big fuss about it. That's being a professional, taking myself seriously. Whereas back in the days, I would have gone like, "Oh no, I don't want to be a bitch. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be this. I don't want her to think that. I don't want her to..." No. Okay? That's what it is. Moving on. No drama. Another example like this. And it's not selfish to do this, guys. I know many of you think it's selfish. No. It's respecting yourself. It's self-respect. Okay? And when you respect yourself, you show people how to treat you. And I've heard this many times, people telling me, oh, this person's not giving me the space I need. This person's not respecting me. If there's something missing in a relationship, if you feel like someone's not respecting you, turn your attention towards your relationship with yourself. If you feel like someone's not respecting you, it's because you're not respecting yourself. If you feel like someone's not giving you the space that you need, it's because you're not taking the space that you need. You're not giving yourself the space that you need. If you feel like there's a lack of passion in a relationship, lack of excitement, look at your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your life. Are you passionate in your own life? Are you excited in your own life? Answer that question. Okay, I'm going to give you another example. I did a contract last year. I was paid for this contract, and after it was finished, they reached out to me and they were like, oh, we just need you to do this extra thing. It's just going to take an hour or two. And I was like, well, it's not part of the contract. I respect my time. So I asked him, what's your budget? And let me swear to you, past me would not have done that. Past me would have been like, oh, I don't want to be greedy. I want to be nice. Oh, no worries, I'll do it. But now it's like, well, my time has value and I'd rather watch an episode of Queer Eye or two. If you want me to use my time to help you, you've got to show that you respect my time enough to pay me for it. You know, and every situation's different. It might have been different if it was a friend. Of course, I'm not going to ask my friend to pay me, but that was in a professional situation. I'm not just going to do it to be nice. Unless it comes from the bottom of my heart. From the bottom of my heart, I want to do this because it's important to me. Okay? But make sure your intention is right. That your intention comes from a place of self-respect. Okay? Whew. Are we done? Is that enough for today? One last example. I'm going to see clients come to me sometimes and say like, oh, I got criticism from this person. For example, I got criticism from my boss. They said this and they said that and they're wrong. Like, that's not true. And I asked them like, what if you took your opinion seriously? What if you saw yourself as a professional? What would you say? What would be the feedback you would give yourself on your performance in that specific situation? Well, they're going to say, well, I think I did this and that well, but they're right in the sense that maybe I could have done that better. And they remove all the drama. Okay? Someone's going to give you criticism, even if they're higher on the hierarchy. Let's say they're your manager. Their opinion doesn't have more power over you. I understand that like they have social power, they can fire you, but you don't want to forget about your opinion of yourself. Okay? You want to take what they say, but at the end of the day, you are the authority on yourself. No one else is. So if you remove all the drama and you're like, I'm a professional, I see myself as a professional, I have experience, I'm here to learn, like I know I'm good at what I do, but I know I have a lot to learn, then you're going to look at the situation completely differently. Okay? So this is my message for you this week. Take yourself seriously. Okay? You're not like a small bean. You're not a child. You have a lot of experience. Your opinion matters. You have a lot of personal power. And that doesn't mean like rejecting everyone's opinions about you. It's just about standing in your fucking power. F-word, sorry. Stand in your power. And remember that you are the sole authority over yourself. No one can take anything away from you. No one can take that power, that personal power away from you. It's like Viktor Frankl in the concentration camp. Even if he was a prisoner in a concentration camp, he kept his personal power. Okay? So, how can you take yourself seriously this week? How can you see yourself as a professional? And if you were that professional that you want to be, how would you act differently? Okay? Maybe the first thing to do is to apply for Brave and Bold so you can get your invite and come to the private training. Private training where I'm going to teach you about my approach. You're going to get so much clarity from our time together, especially if you're a listener of this podcast. What I'm going to teach you is going to speak straight to your heart. Okay? So I hope to see you there. I hope to meet you. And otherwise, I wish you a beautiful week. And I will talk to you next week. I'm so happy to be back. Have a beautiful week. You just listened to the Self-Growth Nerds podcast. Make sure to subscribe and to find me on Instagram at Self-Growth Nerds. If you want individual help developing the confidence to create a more meaningful and exciting life, visit selfgrowthnerds.com today to learn how. Finally, I want to thank my friend Etienne Galano for editing this, and I want to thank you, kind-hearted souls, for growing into your truest, most courageous selves every day and making this world a better, more beautiful place. My name is Marie, and I will talk to you next week.